Great. Okay. Now, Mr. Prem, let's segue into the strategy and the investment story. Who were your first customers, right? When you tried to show them your pans, you wanted them to try it out. What was their response?
What we did after that was we went first straight to the online partners, the delivery partners. It took us some time for us to explain to those delivery partners why I am to be considered as a restaurant. But when we got there, we waited for the order to come online. We never told anybody. So when we got the first order, it was, I think it was within the second day of us actually going live on the platforms, we got an order. We were very excited. The next minute we got rated, which came as a 5 star, saying wow. And I think from there, one became two, two became four, four became six, and today, even 5.5 years later, I think we can proudly say we are number one in terms of rating on the entire platform. We are the only brand which has a 4.8 out of 5 on our things.
Initially, other than trying out, your family members trying it out, did you also run a small WhatsApp group community trying to reach out to initial set of customers?
Yeah, so we did not run any WhatsApp community setup, but yes, what we did was we created a separate WhatsApp customer service number, saying that if somebody saw us, somebody read about us, somebody ordered on Swiggy, Zomato, they want, out of curiosity, they may want to reach out to us. So we very consciously had one WhatsApp number, and we had a dedicated customer service girl who would answer. And I think that's where the true test came, where people would initially message saying, wow, what a product, where else do you get it, who is the founder, how did you do this, what are the flavors you have. So we used to send them menus. We have had education series on websites, on WhatsApp. And there was one instance I remember saying, your packaging is too good, I understand it's tobacco free, I have two questions. I'm going to meet my boss in half an hour. If I chew, will my mouth become red? That was one person. The second time, somebody called on the number and said, most people when they eat pan, I see them spitting. Your pan, after how many times of chewing should I spit it? And then we had to educate them. No, that's tobacco based. We are not tobacco based. You can chew it, you can swallow it. Creating a category also brings in curiosity, and we believe that when somebody is asking you those questions out of curiosity, he's actually recognizing what you're building.
Yeah.
Because if he was not recognizing, he wouldn't bother, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly. So, having a base of 5,000 customers, Mr. Prem, did you come across various different occasions that you never anticipated that they started buying pan for? Ideally, maybe right after the meal, but they wanted to buy pan for maybe gifting to someone, or what are the various things that came out of
Yeah,
this?
so I
These
think
conversations.
a lot came out. First year of business, that was December 2019. I mean July 2019 when we launched. So we had the first Diwali where we were relatively new. So a lot of people ordered for parties. Then came COVID. In COVID, we were the only ones selling pan, right? During that 3 months period, we saw people saying, "It's my father's anniversary. It's my brother's anniversary. It's my friend's birthday, and we are not able to meet. They all love pan," and we were actually, they were buying pan from us and requesting it to deliver somewhere else, saying, "Can you please write happy birthday? Can you write happy anniversary?" So it started becoming a gifting thing, because the curiosity came in saying, "Wow, look at this packaging." So if you want to send somebody, instead of sending a cake, people were sending pans. Then it became a Diwali gifting thing. Then we launched the long shelf life products, and today, during Diwali, we are as busy as probably any other chocolate company could be.
Great. How did you scale from 1 to 10? What are all the various things that you did to scale from there?
We realized that from one, if we have to go to two, we need to improve serviceability. From two, we went to four to enhance serviceability. Then we had an angel fund reach out to us saying, "Wow, this is fantastic, and we want to meet you. And are you looking to raise money?" And we said yes, and all of that. So I think everything unfolded because the product or the product experience created curiosity for people. And yes, we raised our angel round in the middle of COVID. So we raised in May 2020, when the whole world was wondering where we are going to go. We were also wondering what's going to happen to the world, but we kept doing what we needed to do, and we raised our seed round in May 2020. And obviously then on, we kept opening, going into multiple cities.
And which other retailers are you present in currently?
So we have divided our business into two major parts. One is the online business, which is the last mile delivery partners. Second comes the quick commerce business, and in the offline we further divided it into the direct B2B businesses with five-star hotels, B2C business with consumers directly, and most importantly wedding planners, caterers. In terms of retail, now that we have built a portfolio, we work with a lot of retailers across India, whether it's the likes of the Reliance, whether it's the modern bazaars, whether it's any other supermarket.
And in terms of quick commerce formats, you're available on Big Basket,
Yeah, so
Blinkit.
Big Basket, Blinkit, Instamart, Zepto. In fact, Big Basket has been one of the very early partnerships that we built, and it was a very beautiful moment when Mr. Menon reached out to me, and through a reference, and it became coincidence, and we met. So Big Basket was one of the early, I think in December 2020 is when we actually had our first conversation with them, and we built from there on.
Yeah. From India, you also gone international. How did that happen?
Yeah, so the international was purely a pull. It was not a push. What do I mean by pull? 2022, people were traveling from all over the world back to India because the travel restrictions had eased out because of COVID. And when relatives come from different parts of the world, everybody wants to show off how India has progressed. Somebody's ordering fancy food, somebody's ordering something. So I think at that point of time, a lot of people were ordering pans and making their friends, cousins, relatives out of the country trying this pan. And when people tried it, then they would email us saying, I tried your pan in Delhi. It is fantastic. Can I get it for US? Can I get it for Nairobi? Can I get it for Mauritius? So a lot of it came by pull. And today we are, selling across 8 countries across the world.
Great. In terms of competition, are there competitors for you right now? And what are you doing to stay ahead?
When the last mile partners allowed us to go on the platform, they saw the success of what we are trying to build. If somebody approached them, now they didn't have to say no to them. So from a branded packaging perspective, they could become some people who are very, I would say, city specific players. Like somebody has 4, 5, 6, 8 kitchens in, let's say, north of India. From a pan India perspective, where we cover of 17 cities, 12 states, 60 kitchens, I don't think that's something which is there as yet. So we're not hitting stagnation. Today, if we have 60 kitchens, the target is by March to hit 90. The target is to be 120 by next December. So we want to focus on our journey.
Great. Mr. Prem, you had mentioned about the angel funding coming in, right? Did they reach out to you directly, or did you also try to pitch to many investors?
So the first one happened where they reached out to me. We were very happy that they reached out. But after that, you have to follow the protocol of going back, doing pitch deck presentations, answering the questions. What is the success of the idea? POC or proof of concept, what they say, sustainability. So we went through the entire life cycle of how somebody would want to raise money.
Got it.
Then we did a second round and we did a third round, and we've been able to garner a lot of respected funds, individuals, HNIs who found our idea intriguing, and today we are a fully compliant, fund driven company which does it how any other somebody would like to build a corporate company. The only thing that I heard, for on a lighter side, where people said, you're the only paanwala who pays tax in the country. And we said, I mean, if you have to do it right, let's do it the right way. So I can only tell you one thing: we have a beautiful set of investors on our cap table. They have been only supportive. We've never had a nagging investor. So I'm quite happy that we have a fantastic set of investors, whether it's individual or institution, who only fueled our confidence.
Right.
And the beauty is also that we have been happily and consistently growing at 120% to 150% annual year-on-year growth.
Since Paan typically has lower shelf life and are low price products, did investors see that as a problem?
So the investors obviously did see low shelf life as a challenge of how am I going to combat that challenge. Uh, the point of price that was not too much of a concern because we kept our price very similar to what you'd get at the end of the road. The philosophy was that whenever you decided to buy a pan in the past, you never looked at your pocket keepers. Do I have money? I want to go buy a pan. It was a very seamless, effortless purchase. So we wanted to maintain that particular thing. Yeah. Investors had a question more than the shelf life was how will you make fresh pans whenever a customer asks? And the second question was that what if this sale that you're getting on online is only because of COVID or fear of COVID? What happens if when COVID vanishes, do you still continue to get your customers to come back to you because you seem very fancy for a pan? And my answer to them was, I'm fancy, no, I'm very, very sophisticated to bring in all the hygiene parameters. But my pan is a true taste to a pan that somebody wants to eat. It's not a fusion pan. So you, if I give you fusion food, you won't eat it every day. But if I give you real food packed nicely, you'll eat it every day. So the focus was on the product to bring in the hygiene parameters. And I think today we have seen that we have a close to 92% repeat order rate. So I think that's where the proof of the whole thought came out.
So, Mr. Prem, you had mentioned that you've been growing at 150% year on year.
Yeah.
What are your revenues like? Where do you see ending this year?
So this year we should close at about 2.2 to 2.5 million dollars in terms of an ARR. The first year when we started, we were all of 1 million rupees or 10 lakh rupees. So today this year we will close at about 2.2 to 2.5 million dollars for the end of the year.
Okay. And where do you see this business going in the next 5 years?
So I don't know whether many people know that the beetle leaf is exported all over the world and itself is a good 1,500 crores of business that happens from India across the world. Now this could be split over direct consumption by way of pan, it could be pharmaceutical industry, it could be by the way of just exporting or selling leaf which is used by people for pujas etc wise. But if I take even 30% of that entire thing added with condiments, converting it into a finished product, we get at least, it turns out to be a value of about 7-8 times of the base leaf cost, which means according to me this is a good 3, 4, 5,000 crore opportunity. And if I'm doing 2.2 million, which is not even 1% of where we believe that in the next 5 years, we should be at least, if not anything, at least 12x from here. The reason is that the Indian subcontinent, the global market, has enough of Indians across the world and in India. It is a healthy product. People want to move towards healthy products. Our philosophy is to make Paan the healthy Indian dessert. Everybody loves their dessert. So if we're going to continue to maintain the discipline and the product and the consistency and the taste, we believe that there's going to be organic, and I see that it's only going to grow.
Got it. Okay. And what is your advice to people who are looking to raise money for the business?
The advice that I give people is, while you raise the money, raise that money for your business like you raise your child. Do not keep it separate from you. While you can keep your company separate from you in terms of not getting over burnt out, but you need to treat your company and your money raise as one, and you as the source to build both of those together. So I tell everybody, raising money is easy. Justifying the raise that you've done, being true to the raise that is done, and standing up well in advance when you're not able to perform for the money that you've raised, to let at least create a salvage if there is a situation, not go down the hill and then get up and say, I'm sorry I went down the hill, but tell people that you're going down the hill.
Tell us more about your team. How big is the team right now, and how has life changed for the people working there?
So I think we brought a lot of people who sat at the corner of the road, sat under the rain, sat under unhygienic conditions, trying to sell pan and make a living. We did a little bit of that. Brought a lot of people back. Put most of our guys who were ex paanwalas or worked with smaller restaurants or kitchens. We now given them a nice conducive dark kitchen. You're sitting in a nice room. You have a room to go and sleep. We've taught them how to use mobile phone. We have taught them how to use printers. So we have kind of brought in a lot of change in their life. They have started knowing how to use a touch phone. They know how to take an order. They know how to take a print. They've learned how to read orders in English, which they were struggling initially. The team today is about 150 people. It's a combination of the people at the kitchens who make pans. We have delivery boys, we have logistics, we have supply chain, and we have a full-fledged corporate team, a fully structured corporate team